Okay, it looks like we're live. However, I'll give just a few minutes for everyone to move into this class from the previous professor's live stream. If you're here right now, please say a little hello in the chat box. I'll go first. There we go. Let's see who is out there today. Good afternoon. We have Unju and Jenny. Great to see you both here. All right, and I see some others coming in. And wow, welcome back. Great. How's everyone today? How are you doing? Are you enjoying the weather? All right. So what we're talking about today, following Professor Hollis's lecture about business English, we're going to change the direction a little bit and get into something a little bit more personal. And by that, I mean by talking about our hometowns in English. So, without further ado, let's begin. We'll start with a few warm-up questions, then we'll move into some more key expressions and then a grammar point at the end. So, as you can see here, we'll start with the first one, and that is, do your childhood friends still live in your hometown? So the people that you grew up with, your friends from maybe elementary school, middle school, or perhaps high school, are they still in your hometown? Yes or no? Did they move back after graduating college, for example? Or maybe you're still in college and we haven't had the opportunity yet to find out what we want to do with our lives. All right. N says yes, but not many. Okay, good answer. Anyone else? I'll give you a few more minutes to respond. Okay, then why don't we move on to something that's a little more fun to speak about, and that is the famous people that might have come from your hometown. Oh, before we do that, Jenny has a message. Perfect English, good. Yes, Jenny says, some of my friends still live in the same place. And we have Daun saying, like En said, not many. Okay, that seems to be a common answer. Good, good. Yes, they are, says Unha, but not in Seoul anymore. Okay, great answers, everyone. All right, now on to the perhaps more interesting question. Does anybody famous come from your hometown? So I'll give you a few minutes to think about it. Maybe a famous politician, K-pop star, actor or actress or athlete. Were they perhaps born in your hometown that you know of? In my case, in Canada, in my hometown, nobody really famous came from there, but in a nearby town, not too far away, if you know the singer Avril Lavigne, maybe we also could say her name like Ebudil. I've heard that pronunciation. Right. Avril Lavigne, a Canadian singer, was born not too far away from me in northern Canada. So that's the only person I could mention. How about you? Let's go to the chat. Wow! Soo-hyun says, Yoo Jae-sok. Okay, I know of him. I want to say he's a comedian. Please correct me if I'm wrong, though. Okay, Eunha says, I went to Seoul Art High School with Oh, this person, I may not know what they're famous for. Kang Kyung-jun. Maybe you could explain a little more. I'm sure everyone in the chat knows about this famous person, but as a foreigner, I may not know what their specialty is. So just give me a little more of a definition. That would be cool. Actually, many famous people live in my neighborhood, says Jenny. Wow, very special. Okay. Hanam. I live in Hanam-dong. Many famous actors and actresses live here, but I don't know if they are actually coming from here. Their hometown maybe could be different. Okay, good. So we don't know where those famous people came from, but anyway, they're currently living in this in the same neighborhood as you. That's really fun. I hope you meet some celebrities while walking down the street. And Unha, thank you. He's an actor. Okay, thank you. And I apologize to that actor. I'm sure I know what his face looks like. I'm not too good with names. Okay, good, everybody. Moving on. And the next one. So, does your hometown have any festivals? Any festivals, any famous celebrations? For example, I know that some smaller cities in Korea are famous for various things. Maybe in Gongju, in Chungcheongnam-do, they have a Baekje festival. Let me think. Maybe in Nonsan, also in Chungcheong province, they have a strawberry festival. In Seoul, I know there are plenty of festivals, so many festivals because it's such a big city. In Yeouido, there's a beautiful cherry blossom festival every spring. And what about in your hometown? Does your hometown have any special celebration? I'd love to hear about it. And perhaps you could guess something about me. My Korean hometown, meaning the first city that I ever lived in Korea, happened to be in Chungcheongnam-do. So that's why I know about Nonsan and Gongju. Gongju was actually where I spent a few years before I moved to Seoul. So I always like giving a little bit of a shout out to Gongju. Okay, Jenny says, we have the Itaewon Festival every year. We set up so many food courts and there are performances, singing, dancing, etc. Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. I've never attended that festival, but perhaps after COVID-19, I will try to experience it. Great answer. And again, perfect English. Everyone's so great in here. N says, no, not my hometown. But my neighborhood has a festival, which is Chimek Festival, the Chicken and Beer Festival. Wow, that sounds really like a lot of fun. And I'm sure many people enjoy it. Good. Thank you for your answer. Jenny, thank you. Yes, that is a beautiful province. And the people are so kind, right? Autumn says, oh, hi, Autumn. Autumn says, I live in Paju, which has, how can we say this? Where there has been, where they have ginseng festivals. We'll go like, I'll keep it simple. I'm just shortening your answer. I live in Paju, which holds ginseng festivals every year. Of course, before COVID-19 happened. Okay. Wow, ginseng festivals. I think that could be something really cool to experience. I love going into some shops and seeing this, like the aging ginseng in the glass pots. I think that's so unique because in my country, in Canada, we don't see ginseng that much. So it seems like a really unique thing and a very special precious and expensive thing as well. Okay, Seoul is my hometown, but I grew up in Thailand. Wow, lovely, lovely. So on April 15th, we have the Songkran. I hope I said that well. The Songkran Festival. And it is the festival where we play with water. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Now I'm wondering, are you having like water fights with each other? Are you throwing balloons filled with water at one another? Or is it something a little bit different? I really want to imagine how it plays out. Jenny loves the Chimek Festival. Wow, this is something really special. I should try it sometime. Okay, and this Thai festival seems to be very well known. Great, great. And if anyone wants to share perhaps a festival that they experienced abroad, that would be great. Feel free to type in the comments. And I'll be moving on, though, to the next question. Throwing water on cars, too. So you can give your car a wash at this festival. Okay, good, good. Okay, next question. Now, does your hometown have a college or university? And I expect many of you will have an answer to this question because I've noticed in Korea, even very small cities still have they have several, usually, educational institutions, which I think is fantastic. Obviously, as a teacher, I support learning in all of its forms, so I'm just happy to see the accessibility of education in Korea. Because in Canada, where I come from, there aren't too many universities, really. It's a big country with perhaps, if I had to guess, around maybe 30 universities and maybe 50 colleges. So that means that students often have to leave their hometown to travel to a bigger city to attend university. So in my hometown in Canada, no university, no college. The nearest one is about a 2-hour drive. So I'm wondering about your situation. Let's see. Jenny says, we have some colleges, but now I remember that we have a polytechnical college. Very good, very good. I wonder what your hometown is. I'll try to guess that later. Good, good. Anybody else? Does your hometown have a university or college? And says yes. And college students always, we could say, are drunk or always are drinking and are so loud. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. They sound like quite the nuisance, quite the disturbance. And Soo-hyun says, there is the Hanshin University in Suyudong. Okay, perfect. Thank you for naming it exactly. All right. And we'll go on to the next one. Now, how about the public transportation in your hometown? How is it? Is it convenient? Does it need some work? Do you have many options? Do you have many buses? Do you have a subway? Do you have many subway lines? Now, how do you get around? How do you travel around your hometown? In my case, again, as a Canadian, I come from a place that it requires that you own a vehicle. You own a car or a truck or a van. So for me, driving is the best option in my hometown because the public transportation system is not so good. We have maybe 4 buses in total to service the small city, and no subway, of course, no subway line, no airport, because again, it's a small town in Canada. So the best option is simply to buy a car and drive everywhere. It's also warmer and more cozy in the winter. All right, now, how about yourself? What's the public transportation like in your hometown? Yes, so Jung Da-woon said such a good comment that actually the public transportation system is so good in Korea, right? I think everywhere in the country has great facilities with public transportation. So, in their opinion, the best. And I agree with you. I think it is the best in comparing Korea with Canada as well as several other countries that I've visited or traveled to. I would say that Korea definitely has the most efficient public transportation system. Jenny says, quite convenient. Good. Several subways, many bus stops. Also, Seoul Station is quite near. Oh, you're so lucky. Good. So I think my hometown is very convenient and easy to move around in. Perfect. Great. Relatively good, says Anne. We have the subway, bus, and train. Busan has the best public transportation. Oh, I love Busan. Busan is such a lovely city. I wish I could travel there more often. We have Suhyun saying, there are BMWs, which represents the bus, the metro, and walking. I love that joke. Great, great. And Jenny, I agree. Great people. Beautiful scenery in Busan. Okay, final question. And tell me about the shopping options in your hometown. So where can you go shopping in your hometown? Are there many shopping centers? Are there many malls? Is there a Shinsegae, for example? Do you have many E-marts or Home Pluses like this? Or not so many? I was a little bit surprised because in my Korean hometown, Gongju, actually there were not many shopping options. Of course, there were traditional markets and individual businesses that sold clothing, for example, but no department stores, no malls. So I had to travel to another city. I traveled often to Sejong, Daejeon, Cheonan in order to go shopping in the way that I wanted to. And how about you? Where can you go shopping in your hometown? And I apologize if you're not interested in shopping. I used to go to Myeongdong with my friends. Oh, Myeongdong used to be such a vibrant neighborhood. Actually, I was in Myeongdong yesterday, but I wasn't really able to do that much. Most businesses were closed, and it was really quite a different atmosphere compared to the past. Good answer. Unju has a Costco. Lovely. Costco is quite convenient. Jenny says, sometimes I go to local markets, but I have been shopping online. Online is a great way to buy things these days. So actually now, I don't know if we have a new shopping mall or not. Okay, so you're a big fan of the online shopping. And says, not good shopping environment. If I want to buy some special items, online shopping is the best choice. Yes, again, online shopping. Yeah, the food in Myeongdong. Right. So good. Great, everyone. Okay, now why don't we get into a little bit of reading and vocabulary work? So, I wanted to tell you very, very, very briefly about my hometown in Canada. And you can see here on this map, we have Canada, the province, the name is Ontario, and province and state, same meaning, but different countries choose a different vocabulary. So I'm not from the state of Ontario. I'm from the province of Ontario. Down here is the USA with all of their states. My hometown is indicated here It's called Elliott Lake, and that's a small city. It is a lake, but it's also a city named after a lake. So Elliott Lake. Maybe you could be familiar a bit with Toronto. So Toronto is the biggest city in this province. And if you would like to drive from Toronto to my hometown, it takes 8 hours. I studied in the nation's capital. So this is the soul of Canada. It's called Ottawa. It's our capital, not Toronto. Many people mix up those two, but Ottawa is our capital. And I've lost my cursor for a second. Let's get it back. Okay. So here it takes around 7 hours, I'd say. Again, 7 to 8 hours to drive. So you can see a big country, and we have to spend a lot of time driving. So I'll introduce a little bit about my hometown, and while I'm reading, I would love for you to tell me the blank. So if you think the right word should be A, B, C, or D. And thank you. My hometown is quite beautiful in terms of nature. Definitely, it's surrounded by beautiful trees and lakes, some small mountains. But architecturally, it may not be the most beautiful. I prefer European style architecture, so I really like Quebec. I'll go back here. Quebec, the French-speaking area of Canada, they have more of a European feel. Oh, Quebec is where, what was it? Tokivi was filmed. So that could be how you could imagine Quebec. All right. So Elliott Lake, it was something as a planned community for the mining industry in 1955 after the discovery of uranium in the area, and named after the small lake on its northern edge. So that just means there was a lake already there named Elliott, Lake Elliott. Then the Canadian government said, let's build a small city next to this lake. And why? Because there was mining, so extracting minerals, rocks, etc. from the earth. And not to get into the science too much, but they discovered this natural resource, uranium, which is used a lot, I believe, in nuclear reactors. So anyway, this began because of the natural resources. And what do we think? Yes, B, established. Good. Established, it's a great word to use when you're talking about your hometown or anything that is, we could say, created officially, right? Started officially. The government established the city in 1955. You could say the restaurant. The restaurant was established in 1980. So just officially made. Good, everyone. Okay, a little more reading. The something. Elliott Lake is around 10,000 residents. When you ask most Canadians about Elliott Lake, not many people know about its existence, and I am really thankful for that. I appreciate the fact that it is calm, quiet, and surrounded by nature. So here, there are 10,000 people, 10,000 citizens, 10,000 residents living here. So what is the best blank? Yes, population. Good job, everyone. Right, the number of people, the population, is around 10,000, which I think is very small compared to some Korean cities. If you want to, if you feel like it, you can type the population of your hometown into the chat because I'm quite curious. And we have a question from Jenny. Jenny says, do Quebec people speak French? Teacher, do they speak French? Actually, yes, they do. Now, it is possible that there are only English-speaking people who live in Quebec, but it could be very hard for them. So actually, Quebec has always been the region in Canada dedicated to French-speaking people and their culture. Of course, Quebec is open. You can move to Quebec. However, if you do not speak French, it is really hard to live there. An exception is one city, Montreal, in French, the Montréal. Montreal is very metropolitan, so you could find some people there who only speak English, but in any other place, it could be hard. So yes, Quebec people, we call them Québécois. Quebec people, Québécois speak French. Okay, and it says their hometown is around 200,000 people. Wow. To me, that is a medium-sized city in Canada. That's quite large for Canadian standards. The population for Jenny of her hometown is around 22,000 residents. I just Googled it. Thank you for finding it out. Yeah, 22,000. I think that could be a little bit small by Korean standards. Great. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else? Okay. We'll keep your answers coming in. We have a few more slides to get through. So in Elliott Lake, the local citizens, so the residents, are really kind, caring, and always willing to lend anyone a helping hand. However, on the downside, everybody knows everything about everybody. There is often lots of something circulating around this small city. So there's lots of what? If you have a small town, not that many people, everybody is talking to each other and being friendly, maybe some things can develop here. Wow, Hyunju, of course, 10 million. Wow, that's amazing. Eunha, if you do move to Canada, please send me a message. I would be very happy to help you out. Oh, that's kind of funny, Jenny. Thank you for the compliment. Canadians are so nice and kind. But, sometimes this attribute of being Canadian, it can cause some trouble. Sometimes Canadians find other Canadians to be too kind, too annoying, like, kind of frustrating, like kind of 답답해, like so slow. They're always talking to each other. Services generally are a little bit slower in Canada compared to Korea. So a different pace of life, slow pace of life. No bali culture. That's for sure. Okay. And so there is lots of, in my hometown, gossip, right? Talking about each other, sharing stories about one another. Lots of gossip in a small town. Before COVID, I went to Toronto, says Jenny, but I saw so many Chinese everywhere. Okay, there is a very large Chinese population in Canada. Overall, yes, a large Asian population, but in terms of that, I think that a lot of Chinese, and I think maybe in terms of Koreans, Toronto and Vancouver are popular spots. There are some beautiful Korea towns in those cities where you can find Korean marts, Korean fried chicken, noraebangs, lots of Korean restaurants. But as you probably know, the price is so much higher than in Korea. Good. Okay, a little bit more. For this, we have lots of places to enjoy fishing, hiking, camping, and ATVing. ATVing is kind of like a motorcycle that you ride in the forest. 4x4 motorcycle. So big motorcycle that you ride on trails in the forest. with skiing, skating, and snowmobiling. Snowmobiling is snow machining. It's winter motorcycle, available in the winter months. Elliott Lake has a few coffee shops, restaurants, and one small shopping center. Younger people obviously prefer to visit neighboring towns and cities since it gives them more things to do. And what do we have here? What could our answer be? Yes, for entertainment, for leisure, for pleasure, for entertainment. And you'll notice that all of these activities are very outdoor related. Okay, we'll move on and to the last slide here. Now, despite its small size, Elliott Lake has a lot to offer the right kind of person. Someone who loves outdoor activities, natural scenery, so nature, and a quiet and safe place to live would something in my hometown. So what's the best fit here? Let's see who gets it first. So this one may be a little challenging. Good job. Yes. 정다운. Good. They would do well. They would do well in my hometown. Native speakers like to say this expression a lot. Do well means do a good job in, enjoy and perform well in. They would live well there. So they would do well in my hometown. They would like it and live happily. So if you love nature, I invite you to visit my hometown in Canada. All right, enough from me. Is there anything else that you would like to tell us about your hometown? So is there anything special, anything unique? You definitely don't have to write 5 paragraphs. It's too long. But if you have anything else you'd like to say about your hometown, I would love to hear it. Or if you have any questions. I'll give you a moment. And if you're here just listening and you haven't chatted yet, this would be a great time to jump in, try it out. Don't be shy. Let's see. Okay, sure, that's a good question. What language do people speak in Elliott Lake? Well, there are 2 official languages in Canada, which are French and English. So there are French speakers and English speakers, but because Elliott Lake is outside of Quebec, not in Quebec, most people speak English. However, there is a large community of people who speak French or are bilingual. They speak both languages. Good question. All right. So actually, we'll move on because time's a little bit short already. We'll move on to 2 expressions that we can use when talking about hometowns. Jenny, though, says, I live near Itaewon, so I have seen so many foreigners everywhere. Recently, I have seen many Muslim people. Yes, that's right. I've noticed that as well, that I think Itaewon is becoming more and more diverse. Good. Wow. Jongda-won, wow. I lived in Thunder Bay for a couple of years and miss everything. The lakes, people, even 6 months of winter. Wow. I'm so happy to hear that you enjoyed really northern Ontario, even the winter. And for those of you who may not know, Thunder Bay is Canadian terms, a little bit near my hometown, but in fact, it is even more north. It's quite cold there in the winter. So, yes, Thunder Bay is so beautiful. Great. All right. So, we'll talk about two expressions now, and I encourage you to please try to use them in a sentence in the chat. So, this one is out in the sticks. Out in the sticks. What does that mean? If you hear somebody say, I live out in the sticks. Well, it just means that you live in the countryside, in the 시골, not in the city. So you have your city, but anything outside of the city in the countryside is the sticks. So maybe because there are a lot of trees and branches and nature, there's even a theory that suggests that this original expression came from baseball. So we don't know the exact origins, but we've been saying it to mean in the countryside. So if you'd like, please try it out in the chat. Thunder Bay is out in the sticks. Correct. Oh, exactly. Mm-hmm. Now, really, Thunder Bay is just gorgeous, though. There are waterfalls, so many lakes. It's really a beautiful place, but it is quite isolated. I drove there one time from Elliott Lake, and if I can recall, it might have taken 10 hours by car. I don't advise driving there. It's best to fly there. It's really remote. Good. Anyone else? My parents live out in the sticks after, they will live. Yes, my parents will live out in the sticks after they are retired. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice to retire in the countryside and relax. Good answers here. I have been out in the sticks, Suhyun, right? People can benefit from clean and fresh air out in the sticks. Perfect sentence. I would enjoy resting out in the sticks. Suhyun, in Thailand, of course. Good answer. That sounds beautiful. I love Thailand. I visited there maybe 4 years ago, and I was so impressed by the nature. Really beautiful. And again, very nice people. And really delicious food. I could talk for a while. Okay, we'll move on. Hustle and bustle is expression number 2. Maybe you've heard of this before. It's a way of describing the movement, the atmosphere of a very busy situation. So we often talk about the hustle and bustle of city life. For example, I hate the hustle and bustle of city life. I prefer the countryside. Or you can talk about the hustle and bustle in your office. Maybe things are very crazy, so busy, so hectic in your office. So there was a lot of hustle and bustle in my office today. Or maybe, my kids caused a lot of hustle and bustle in my apartment. So it usually, though, we talk mostly about hustle and bustle for cities. And I'm wondering if you have any examples. Do you enjoy the hustle and bustle of Seoul? Do you enjoy when you're walking downtown and there are so many people, different types of people walking past you very quickly? Lots and lots of options, lots of lights, lots of people selling things, trying to get your attention. Great example, right? Bangkok. In Bangkok City, there is always hustle and bustle. It's very energetic and lively. Some people love that atmosphere. Some other people say, it makes me so tired. Right. commuting is full of hustle and bustle. I just added a little more to make it sound just conversational. Perfect. So there is lots of hustle and bustle on the subways in the mornings in Seoul. Good answers. Okay, now why don't we change our direction a little bit? And in fact, we're going to be talking about reviewing how we can describe direction, giving directions to other people, how we orient ourselves. So I think many of you already know this, so we'll get through it quite quick. But it's important to know if, for example, a native speaker asks you in your hometown, oh, how do I get to the bank? Or where can I find the restaurant that I need to go to? So we're going to review very, very quickly some expressions that we use when we're giving directions. Okay? And Eunha, yes, I agree with you. Great sentences here. I would like to retire out in the sticks, out in the countryside. I do not enjoy the hustle and bustle anymore. I think I'm getting old. And okay, we have others agreeing that maybe the hustle and bustle is fun when we're younger, but as we mature, we prefer a calm pace of life. Okay, good. Back now to here. We have go straight. There we go. Looking at our sense of direction, right? On the left, on the right. Let's not confuse them too much. This one, we'd say A is opposite B, or A is across from B. So we can say like this. Here, we're turning. We could tell somebody, you need to take the first turn on the right. Alternatively, you need to take the first turn on the left. Here we have, well, you need to take the second right. So first right, no, the second right. So turn on the second right. Or if you're walking, maybe walk 2 blocks, then turn right. So remember blocks like this. Here we have the same, but for going left. Here we have corner, right? We have a corner. So we would say that this is on the corner of, and we would name the streets. Now, I hope you can see this well, but I'm going to give you a challenge here. And I'm curious who, let's say, has the best Cheeto skills, the best map skills. So this is our challenge. If you can see it well, when you have the answer, type the answer. We'll see who gets there the fastest. So you are at position number 1. So let's find number 1 up here. Position 1. I need you to go straight on York Street. Take the second turn on the left. It's next to the school. So I'm wondering who can find this place first. We have different options. We have a post office, a restaurant. This is hard to read, but it's a hotel. This is the hotel, church. Maybe the rest are legible. Jenny says library. Okay, are there any other answers? We need to go straight on York Street. Take the second turn on the left. And it's next to the school. So in fact, yes, Jenny, you are correct. Great job. So of course, when you're looking at the map, you need to realize, right, your left from your right, we're going left. Yes, library. Good job, everyone. Okay. Now, we'll do it a lot quicker. You're at position 3. Go straight. It's on the corner of Bond Road and York Street next to the hotel. Let's see who can get there fastest. So from 3, right here. Dun, 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 dun. Going straight. The corner of Bond Road and York. Here we are, Bond and York. We're at the corner of it. All right, and it's next to the hotel. What could that be? This one here is the hotel. I wonder who will answer first. Yes, and you are correct. The restaurant. Good job. Uh-huh. All right. Next, we are at position 2. Find number 2. Go straight on Palm Avenue. Now, a native speaker might not say avenue. They might just say, go straight on Palm, just the name. So go straight on Palm, take the second turn on the left. It's on the corner of Palm and Park, opposite the hospital. So let's see what we come up with. Starting at position 2. We're going straight on Palm. I feel like a GPS. Straight on Palm. I can't see where the hotel is. I'm so sorry. You're right. Here. This is the hotel. The font is too tiny. Okay. And indeed, right? The supermarket. Who got it first? Jongdaun. Good job. Good job. All right. Hotel is the pink building. Yes. So sorry. Next time I'll make it bigger. Okay. And why don't we go with, we'll go with this actually. All right. I think everyone knows their directions very well, so we don't need to practice that anymore. We're going to now look at this. So from your current location, where you are right now, thanks Autumn, where you are right now, how would you travel to Hankuk University? How would you get to campus? Maybe some of you are in the neighborhood. Maybe some of you are in Seoul, so it's a little bit easier. But maybe some of you are much farther away in another city. So please, you don't need to give me exact details. But generally, how would you travel to Hufs from where you are right now? For me, I'm in Seongshin University area. So I would say, well, I would suggest taking the subway. You need to take the subway. You need to transfer one time, and then you can arrive at Hufs. So you need to take some public transportation. If anyone lives nearby Hufs, then you could describe it in more detail, like walk down the street, turn left, turn right. But I think that because we're a cyber university, many of us are across the country. So just in general, how do you go to this university? How do you get there? I think a lot of people will say, I need to drive. So you could say, I can go to Hufs by car. You can go to Hufs by car. I can go by subway. Or maybe on foot. Yeah, I can go on foot. And also by foot. I can go by walking. It could take maybe 1 hour. Let's see. Any other answers? I'll give you a few minutes and then we'll sum up. Okay. Any takers? Good. Yeah, I can go to Huff's by the subway. There we go. All right. So why don't we move on from that? And we'll end with our final discussion question. So, are you good at directions? Are you good at reading maps? So, are you someone who is easily lost, or are you generally good at navigation? So, we can answer that. And oh, we have a few more messages coming in. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I appreciate your patience here. N says, okay, open Chrome and type the website address and log in. Sorry. Okay, so that's just to attend the Cyber University. Simply log in from anywhere. N says, I take a subway and transfer 3 times so I can make it around 1 hour. Wow, that's a really long journey. But thank you for your answer. Perfectly clear. Back to the previous question, Jenny said, I can go to Huff's by subway. From the exit, go straight 2 blocks and turn right. Oh, perfect. That is extremely clear. Thank you as well. Good, good. Okay. Anyone else? Or you want to talk about if you're good at directions? Suhyun says, actually, I'm not. Me neither. Me neither. I have a hard time. I'm often lost when I travel to other countries. Jenny said, since I started driving, I am getting better at finding directions. I use Naver app to find the way. Perfect. Yes. Using your smartphone applications, your GPS on there, or in your car is a really easy way to get around, especially when you're in a big city. Good, good, good. And let's go with our last question. Oh yes, Jong Won said, because of navigation, they're getting even worse at reading maps. That's right, because it sounds old-fashioned to actually read a map, right? To take a printed map and read it. So I understand your answer. Me too. I don't really rely on physical maps anymore. I use digital map services. And in your case, everybody, have you ever gotten lost while traveling? Tell me about what happened. So does anyone have a quick little story? A quick little, let's call it an anecdote. Anecdote is a small story about getting lost while traveling. And in my case, I think I have many examples, but none that are too spectacular. Just I usually have to give myself more time than necessary when I'm in a new place. So if I've never for example, when I was in Australia, I was trying to find the Opera House and I had no previous knowledge of Sydney. So I had the tickets to go to the opera. I had maybe about, I think it could take 30 minutes, but I gave myself an hour. So I needed a little bit of extra time because I expected that I would probably get lost along the way. Jenny says, yes, I usually get lost. I usually use phone apps, but when I can't use my phone, I just ask people who look like local people. That's a great strategy. And it's nice to chat with the locals as well. Good. I always get lost, even with navigation. That's me. I am so bad at finding places. Okay. Yes, I relate as well. Okay, good. And N says, I lost my destinations in many countries, but every time people are so kind and they helped me find the right way to go. So you lost your destination, you could say I lost my sense of direction. I like that expression. It means that I just got confused. I was turned around. I ended up walking in the wrong direction, like this. So I often lose my way. I'm bad at directions, or I lost my sense of direction. Hmm. We say that a lot. Sense of direction. Hmm. Good, good. Well, I think maybe we will wrap up here. We have a few more messages coming in, so I'll read those out and then we'll end our lesson today. Suhyun says, I got lost. Okay, on the way home from school. On the way home from school a week ago. Oh, don't worry. I can relate. I've done very similar things before. Sometimes you're just tired and you take the wrong turn on a familiar commute. Okay, good answer, good answer. So I hope you learned a little bit today, maybe some authentic expressions, how to talk about your hometown in a conversational way. Maybe you learned something little about Canada. And if so, thank you. It makes me very happy sometimes to talk about my hometown. So we'll end here. And I'll thank you for your time. And I'll mention that we have another one again next week. So same time, same day, Saturday, 12 p.m. I'll be back here. And thank you so much. It's always a lot of fun. And I really love hearing about your personal experiences. It's a really rewarding thing for me. Thanks so much. You too. Have a lovely weekend. And you too as well. And have a great weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Okay, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.